Morning.
I'm glad to see some of faces again. And as we said before, hopefully will be not only the faces, but physically to be here at the Mott Center. So as you may have heard from the news and the email that was sent last week by Dr. Linda Hasselt, the Mott Center has been selected as the first building in the medical school that will open. That is an honor, but an horror. So it's an honor because we were the first ones on putting the SOPs, and I want to thank everybody for helping with that, especially Steve, Aisha, as well as Sharon, who were helping to put the SOP. So we were the first ones that the Vice Dean, as well as Dr. Lanier, the Office of the Vice President, that received the SOPs, and they were very well done. So they were impressed by the quality of the work, and based on that, and the organizational steps that we have taken in order to move to be able to start, we have been selected for the opening. So there is no other building who will start this week. They will be looking how we do the opening of the Mott Center, the steps, the response for all the members in order to then start implementing what will be the next buildings. And there is a list of buildings who will be incrementally opening as they complete all the steps that we have completed. So again, I'm delighted to inform everybody that we are opening. But, here comes the but. We cannot open everybody at once. I have several discussions with Linda Hasselt as well as Dr. Lanier in terms of what is the percentage of people that will come. And we have more or less reached an agreement of what will be that. Yeah. More or less we have an enrichment of how we will give the number, but it still is in work in progress. So what we are going to cover today is several aspects in terms of the general steps that we are going to take to reopening the Mott Center. At 12 o'clock, we have a faculty meeting where we will give more details of who is coming and when is coming. So again, at the present time, although we say we are opening the Mott Center, it doesn't mean that everybody's coming at once. We will do a gradual returning to activities. Important aspects that I want to bring before we go through our agenda. First thing, the return to the Mott Center, or the return to working, I don't want to, the work to physical working, because I'm sure you have been working at home. The return to physical working at the Mott Center is voluntary. So we cannot force anybody to come here. So that is the first thing. However, because we have activities that is extremely important for the success of the objectives of the medical school, that is the research, the translational research, and the clinical research, we hope that the majority of the people will start joining their physical activity at the Mott Center. What we are doing, and the whole list of measures that we are going to share with you, has one single purpose, and that is to make you feel comfortable coming back to work at the Mott Center. And I repeat, making you feel comfortable. that you are not worried for your health or worry by the health of your family. That is our primary objective. The second primary objective is that we don't want to make your life impossible here, putting restrictions that it doesn't make sense. So we want to use this magic word, that is the word common sense. So please use your common sense when you start coming here and be a good citizen. If you see somebody that is not feeling comfortable, make sure that you approach us, and you will see we created a committee we created the ways that you can convey your feelings, that we can modify things or adapt things that will allow you to do the two objectives, that you feel safe and you're happy to be back. We don't want this become again like going to the airplanes, where it's a torture, that you have to go through checkpoints and they make your life impossible. That's not the idea. Again, we want to make sure that when you come here, you feel safe and you feel comfortable. Okay, so all the guidelines that we have established are at the present time with that purpose. And we not and again, it will be by phases. We will go in details of what are those phases. There is we will have a selected group of people who will start tomorrow. It will be a limited number of people, no more than 10. Those people will be our guinea pig in a way, sorry to use that word. We will be testing how things work with that group. If everything goes okay tomorrow, on Wednesday, we will increase the number, and gradually we will continue inviting more and more people to join. I hope that in the next week, 80% of the people in the Mott Center will already be back. That is my hope. So with this, I'm going to stop, and I'm going to pass now to Sharon, who will review with you what are the guidelines for coming to the Mott Center, starting from tomorrow and progressing through the rest of the week. Sharon.
Hello. Can you guys all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I hope you're all doing well, and we're looking forward to everyone coming back. But as Dr. Moore mentioned, it's got to be a very staggered approach for now. On the Mott Center website, under news, there are the new guidelines for when you do return back to work. The first couple pages are the guidelines general for the Mott Center for everybody. And then I believe the last pages are geared more towards the individual labs. There is a link to a training, which I encourage everyone to do as soon as possible, so you're ready for when you do get called to come back. It is a mandatory training for all employees of Wayne State. They must take before they come back to work. And after the training is done, when you do come back, you need to go to, there's also a link to the website to fill in the daily questionnaire, which some of you may have already done in the past when you've come in on different occasions. And instead of, you'll get a auto return email, but you'll also get a barcode that will come. Does it come to your phone, Dr. Moore?
It can come to your phone or to your email. So if you open your email and your phone, you will see it. I'll show you in a minute. Go ahead.
Okay. And there'll be a barcode, and we don't have it yet, but we will have at the entrance a barcode reader where you'll just be able to scan that barcode when you do come into the building. For now, we have a sign in and a sign out sheet located at a table when you come in the front of the building. So please sign in and sign out until we have the barcode reader installed. When you do come into the front of the building, you can only come through the front main entrance or the back entrance The side entrances will be exit only. You'll only need to swipe your card. There will be no code to punch in anymore. One door is for an entrance, one is for an exit, and they're clearly marked with signs. No more than one person in the entrance. So when you come in, be mindful of others.
Sharon,
Yes.
sorry for the interruption. Where is that training? I'm at the website, CS Mott Center website, and I cannot find that link.
It should be under news.
There is contact us, faculty, research, education, advisory committee, coronavirus updates. There's no news. I don't see any news.
Towards the bottom of the website.
Let me share it and I'll show it to everybody. Let me just get.
We are the mott.wayne.edu, right?
Let me show the screen. That is a good.
Scroll down.
Oh, Alyssa just posted the link.
So you see here, so you go in the website, the research, what is the news at the Mott Center? You have here guidelines for the Mott Center opening is a PDF, and I will open the PDF.
Oh, okay.
So here is all the guidelines. Now, Alisa is going to post, as it is, an independent link today that it will take you to the training. Some of you have.
I got it. Yeah, it's here. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Let me stop. And I will show you also what is the barcode. Let me just stop. Stop sharing. And this is the barcode. When you get your email confirming, you will get something like this. Yeah. Saying that you are allowed to come back. When you arrive in the building, there will be a scanner, hopefully soon. It will scan this and automatically will tell us at what time you arrive. And also when you leave, you will be scanned and will tell us at what time you leave.
So including research assistants, they will get the email?
Everybody, including everybody.
Okay.
Anybody who enters the building will have that.
Yeah.
And you will receive an email from Dr. Lanier saying that you have been approved, giving you the link and so on. Yeah. Yeah, again, I think it's a good idea. Feel free to ask questions now. We will have time also at the end, but if you have any question now, please feel free to do it. You can also use the raise hand if we don't listen, if we don't hear you, okay?
Okay. So for now, please sign in and sign out if you are selected to come in until we have the barcode reader. We have received supplies from OVPR. We have masks. They are cloth reusable masks, which we will give to the PIs that they can give out to their lab staff. Right now, they are 2 per person and they are washable. So in case anyone doesn't have a mask, if you are coming in for the first time and you don't have a mask, please let me know ahead of time so I can meet you at the front door with a mask. There is a hand sanitizing station located in the entrance of the building. We also have individual hand sanitizers, which we will give out to the labs and the different departments. And we have disinfectant that we will be giving out for the labs as well. We are supposed to receive cleaning wipes, but we have not received them yet. So as soon as we have an update on that, we'll be sending that out. There is signage marked throughout the building. You'll need to wear a face covering when you enter the building, whenever you're in the hallway, using the restroom, any common areas. If you're in your private workstation, obviously you don't need to wear it. We do have the class lunchroom open for use. There should be no more than 10 people in there at a time. The kitchen area should only be 1 person at a time, and we will have cleaning supplies in there. So everything, any appliances that are used need to be wiped down immediately. There's only 1 person per table, and we've rearranged all the seating for that.
May I add, Sharon, this?
Sure.
although will see that general instructions is that there is no use of cafeterias and so on. Because we are a research lab, we don't want you to start, you're not allowed to eat in the labs. If you have an office, it's a different story. But if you don't have an office, you cannot eat in your desk in the lab. So please don't do that. You will create a different problem. So that is the reason the cafeteria, the lunchroom or the classroom that we call, we will keep it open. But you will see there is only one chair per table. So you cannot sit with your friends to eat in the same table. Okay?
And no conference rooms at this time. Continue to use Zoom or Teams for any meetings, even if you're in the building at the same time, like we are right now. The little kitchen behind the administrative office, only one person in there at a time. If you do come in the administrative office, you'll come in the front door. You need to exit out the back door towards the conference room. What else? No more than 2 people in an elevator or a stairway. If you want to check your temperature, we have a digital thermometer in the administration office. Please contact me for use of that. If anytime at work you start to feel sick or feverish, please go home immediately. Follow up with campus health screening and your healthcare provider. If you do come down with COVID, you'll need authorization to return to work. We are forming a biosafety committee so we can monitor our progress on our safety measures, assess any complaints or concerns. And I think that's about it. Everything is laid out in that PDF on the website as well. And the first 10 who are selected to come back tomorrow will receive an email from me later today. And if all goes well, we hope to increase that to about 20 on Wednesday. And we will keep you updated and informed every day.
So thank you, Sharon. Is there any question for Sharon now? Again, what she went through is what is the process of coming in and coming out and behaving within the Mott Center in the general areas. Is there any questions so far? Good. So remember,
I have a question.
Please.
Sorry, Dr. Moore. So then what about like the package delivery? So will that remain the Wiki still working, or?
The packages continue to arrive. There is no problem with the receival of packages. So we don't know if Vicky will be here, but between Sharon, Alice, and myself, we will be taking care of those packages as we have been doing so far. So yes, packages has been delivered. Orders can be put it and delivered. We will take care. The mail is something that still we don't know because the university has not provided guidelines still for the mail. Yes, there has not been mail delivery here.
Okay.
So it's better, anything to use is FedEx or UPS or package delivery. Sharon?
Well, I should mention that we have floor monitors that will check the floors in the morning and the afternoon just to make sure there's enough cleaning supplies, sanitizer, that everyone is following social distancing. And it's not to penalize anybody, it's just to ensure safety. I'll be responsible for the basement and the first floor. Dr. Krawitz will be responsible for the second floor and Dr. Moore for the third floor. So if you're on that floor and you have any concerns, please come to us.
Yeah. Any other question about coming in and out? Good. So let's move to the next part. Because what I mentioned, we need to record everything that we do. I asked Dr. Lanier and Dr. Halsey how they are going to evaluate the success or the failure of our opening? And the answer was very clear. They don't know. So if they don't know, we don't know also. But let me tell you what we think will be the way how we can value. And we, of course, that was the first answer, but the details are the following. The success, the first one would be that we don't get sick people. That's the most important. Yeah. The second, if somebody is sick, that we can control that person who got sick and make sure that that person will take good care and will be moved to according with instructions that Sharon told you. Third, if there is a person who is sick, that we can immediately know where that person was and with whom that person interact. So the people who that person interact will be also monitored, tested, and so on in order to prevent any spread. And fourth is that everybody that it comes here, what I mentioned at the beginning, is feeling comfortable and is able to work and do their things. Those are the main objectives that we want to achieve. And that's what the medical school and the university is looking how successful we are. In order to do that monitoring and reporting to the medical school and to the OBPR, we have created a committee. It's a safety committee. But I want to make sure that the definition of that committee is clear. And then I will pass to Dr. Kraus, who is leading that committee, and explain you who are the members and so on. The role of the committee is to evaluate how the implementation of the success or failure of the implementations that we are doing. When I say monitoring, it doesn't mean they will be policing what you do. It's mainly to say, whoever have problems or concerns, don't go to Dr. Lanier or don't go to the dean. You go first to the committee. The committee will evaluate your needs, will evaluate your concerns. And based on your feedback, they will create some modifications or advice for modifications of the rules and regulations in order to facilitate the implementation of our objectives or achieving our objectives. Yeah. So that committee is your source of communication. Whatever you see that is difficult or whatever you see that is missing, they are the faculty who will be working with every single individual. And I mean every single individual. I don't want to see that somebody has a concern and the first person that it goes is to the dean or to the chairman or to the vice P. That is not the line of command. You have a concern, you go to the committee. If the committee doesn't respond, you come to me. If the committee or myself are not able to satisfy your concerns, then you can go to the Vice Dean of Research, Dr. Linda Hussel. But don't go to the OBPR as your first source. I hope I made clear. There is a line of command that we want to manage your problems. We want to manage your concerns. Please follow that line. It will facilitate that we can move forward. It will make this transition successful. Dr. Steve Kraus, please.
Sure, thank you very much, Dr. I'd like to first of all thank the members who joined the committee, and then I'll explain the structure of the committee. Dr. Nardi Gomez, Dr. Douglas Rudin, Sharon Pepe, and myself. And you can immediately sort of understand that each one of us represents a specific floor. We've put it together in terms of if you have a problem, an issue, a comment, concern, please approach one of us, who's the person that's responsible for the floor. They will then basically take the information, help you understand or help you understand what we can do. That will then be relayed to the entire committee. The entire committee will meet and address that concern and get back to you in a prompt manner. And I do mean in a prompt manner, and it will not be something that will take days. We should be able to resolve it within minutes or so. The committee has not met yet because the committee was just formed on Friday, and everybody committed to joining the committee on Friday, which was great. And I really appreciate everybody's enthusiasm for the responsibility. So we will respond in a timely manner. Your problem will be dealt with in a timely manner, and we will make sure that if we can't resolve it, we will make sure that we help you move it up the ladder so it can be dealt with appropriately in an expeditious manner. What we want to make sure of is that everybody remains safe and healthy. That is our primary concern. In an environment that is conducive to our spirit at the Mott Center of maintaining a very productive relationship in terms of science. So any of those comments, please address to us. We're open to them. And I will emphasize that the committee is separate then from the monitoring, the morning and afternoon pseudo monitoring, which will be going on that Sharon described during her presentation. The other thing I'd like to add that wasn't mentioned and that I actually found fascinating when I took the course was they do tell you in terms of how to take care of the masks, the cloth masks that you'll receive, and then how to make sure that they can be, if they are contaminated, can be decontaminated in a safe manner. And the instructions are very easy to follow, and it's very well laid out. So I was quite impressed in terms of how the whole package was put together. So we are all available. Any committee member is available to you to address, to tell us your concerns. And if we have missed something, and it is possible, but very unlikely, we are happy to respond, as I said, in an immediate manner. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to take them now.
So who are the members of the committee, you said?
Sure. So the basement is Dr. Rudin. The main floor is Sharon Pepe. I have responsibility for the second floor, and the top floor is Dr. Nardi Gomez Lopez.
And again, thank you, Steve. The function of those is, their role is not to start looking how you're working. Their role is to help you if you have questions, if you have things, coordinating the activities in general in the Mott Center. Okay. An aspect, any other question to Steve? Okay, so there is an aspect, thank you, Steve. There is an aspect that I want to remind you, custodial will continue doing the outstanding job that they are doing. They have cleaned up all the bathrooms, corridors, rooms, and so on. The pickup of the garbage will not be done to each individual office. Again, the idea is that your office or your own space, you can feel comfortable that there was no other people coming in and out. So if you need your garbage to be taken out by custodially, they bring your garbage to the main areas or leave the garbage at the end of the day outside of your door so it can be collected. And I don't know if from custodial, I know the custodial is here, but I don't know if custodial has any other additional instructions. Sharon, do you know if there is any other additional instructions from custodial?
Not that I'm aware of, but we can find out.
Yeah, what kind of
Kira.
Instructions are you guys looking for? Sorry, hi, Rachel
Hi.
Saunders with Custodial.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Rachel.
Rachel, for coming.
Sure.
We did have a conference call with Steve Pesic a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And he went over, you know, the guidelines for custodial, like how they're not going to come in individual offices, take our trash to central locations,
Right.
so we can minimize contact, and they'll prioritize on high touch cleaning or high surface touch stuff.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
maybe shall we leave Rachel to give us an overall of how is the policies that you have received, so we can implement in a better way, and
Yeah,
then they
if there's
can answer the
anything else
questions.
we need to know.
Nothing I don't think that hasn't already been shared. All of those things that you just mentioned are still in place. And you know, it has worked pretty well for us in terms of keeping everybody at a safe distance and safe within our own department. We are getting ready to put out what we call a custodial pandemic, excuse me, post-pandemic playbook, which will give a lot more detailed information in terms of how our operating procedures are going to be changing over the next few months, you know, as we return to campus. It'll give you guys a little bit more specific information relaying the types of disinfectants we're going to be using, because they have changed to some degree in light of this entire situation. And then we're also going to have a kind of a frequently asked questions webpage for those of you who might have other questions, and I'm sure you do. But then we're also making sure that we're available to ask those as needed. And I'm hoping that's going to be out closer to the end of this week. I know that our leadership was putting kind of the final touches on that before they were sharing it with the campus community.
Rachel, is there any change on the hours for the cleaning hours? Or is
No, actually, we're still operating the same hours. What you might see that will change though is the specific people that were in your facility prior to the partial closure. We've got them operating in more of a kind of a team, but supporting the social distancing. So you might see people who you never saw in your building before in your building, and then you might see their ones that you were used to seeing absent from that building, as well as we identify and move them around in order to make sure that we're getting the campus cleaned as people are returning all over. So that might be a big change that you guys might see. But as far as our hours go, no, same hours. Same
Okay.
hours, same supervisors.
Okay.
And if they have any concerns or questions, they can come directly to us, or if they come to you, you can
Sure.
feel free to reach out to us. And
Absolutely.
Any question about custodial from the faculty?
Will all the bathrooms be open, or is it just the first floor?
they're all open, aren't they?
I'm sorry. Oh, go ahead. They're not all open right now, but we have been making sure to get them, all of them disinfected, and then a lot of detail cleaning done. I don't know if we're going to be opening all of them back up in all of the buildings, but we're going to be opening more than just the one that you might see open on the main floors.
And they discuss that. Thank you for the question, because the idea of one single bathroom defeats the purpose of not keeping people in.
Right.
So we want to have enough bathrooms that there will not be accumulation of individuals in one single place.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully, working with Rachel, yeah, we will, hopefully all the bathrooms here at the Mott Center will be available. The garbage from the labs and so on is exactly as it was in the past, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. Any other question about custodial? Okay. So remember, we have what is called, thank you, Rachel. We have what is called the general guidelines for the whole building. But the most important aspect is also the guidelines for your individual lab. The same purpose of distance and protection of the safety of each individual in the general common areas is critical for the individual labs. So we will be creating, once we have the scanner, a record of when people are coming and so on. We know that everybody comes at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. So we will have an idea what is the time of arrivals from everybody, and we will try to coordinate that there is a flow of the people as they arrive into the center. But we cannot control where the people in your lab will be working. So it's very important that each PI, especially if it has several people in the lab, you create your own schedule, and that schedule is clearly defined who is at what time and where that person will be working. So I asked Dr. Albero to share with you some of the schedules that she has been working. Again, as a suggestion, as a work in progress, and but definitely each lab needs to have its internal schedule. Aisha, would you like to share what you have?
Sure. Good morning, everybody. So for us, for our group on the 3rd floor, what we have done so far is to put a simple Excel sheet-based scheduling system on SharePoint. So the thought is that anyone from anywhere can look at that schedule and know who are the people currently in the lab. And it would also let anyone from anywhere to sort of say, okay, there's not a lot of people, I can come in this time. So in addition to writing the name and specifying the time that they are in the lab, we also ask the staff to write down the equipment that they are using so that we know exactly where they will be. So, you know, our flow cytometer is in a specific room, our Western blot area is in a specific bay. So we not only know the time that they're there, we also know the activity that they are doing. And that coordinates, I think, the scheduling. So something also for our lab that we did is because we have to coordinate the tissue culture schedule for 10 people using 2 biosafety cabinets. So that is in a separate Excel sheet that we can look and we can write down when we want to use which hoods. So, you know, I think the main thing is that anyone can look at that in real time and know who's there. And at the end of the day, we have not only knowing how many people are there at any given time, but also the movement of the people.
Thank you, Aisha. At the end of again, this has nothing to do with monitoring your life. It's because since we are the first center and they are looking how we are working and the good things that we do and also the mistakes, we would like to ask that every PI, when his or her lab is functioning, you will send to Sharon at the end of the day, how was your schedule and whether there was problems at the schedule or it was successful. Yeah. I hope that this will not be required for a long period, but again, we need at this stage to record everything that we do in order to prove whether those approaches are beneficial or whether those approaches are not beneficial and whether we need to implement different ways. So in a very scientific way, if you allow me to say that, we need to record every experiment that we are doing. Remember, we are doing an experiment here to see what are the best things that it works. Whether having an exit door or an entrance door, you asked me, I have no idea if that is necessary, but it's the way that we are experimenting. Yeah? So, and that is the collaboration that I'm asking to you, the effort from all of you to implement where we are, practice where we are implementing, record the success and failures of what we are doing, and let us know, because we need to send reports to the medical school and then to the university so they can implement or not implement some of the things that we are doing. I hope I'm clear to everybody. We are helping the university, all of us, everybody who is in this call is going to help the medical school, the big buildings to come back if we do things in the proper way and we report what we're doing. Okay.
We'll be reporting on Thursday how these couple days are going, so.
And we will report in, thank you, Shar, we'll report in every week. So also for the committee, Steve, we will need, again, a report of problems, what is happening. I want to repeat, we are not the police. I don't want that this becomes a state, a military base. That is not the role of it. Is you are the reference where you get the feedback, positive and negative. I'm not going to be around saying, oh, you don't have a mask, $100 fee. We're not going to do that. We're scientists. We understand the risks and the signs of what is going on. The main thing is measures to help you. Good. I don't know if we have, sorry, let me stop. Questions about this.
I have a question, Dr. Moore.
Yes, go ahead.
So do we need to wear gloves every time we touch things like elevator buttons or things like that? What is the rule? Okay, so you don't have to wear gloves. If you feel more confident wearing gloves, it's up to you. What is recommended is, and again, that is the reason there is sanitizers at the entrance next to the... Yes, my son. Sorry. There is a sanitizer at the entrance of the elevator. There is sanitizers in the office. There is sanitizers in the labs. So if you touch something, when you come, you use the sanitizer. Yeah. If you prefer to wear a glove when you're moving around the center, it's up to you. What we are putting you is the use of sanitizers. Washing your hands, using sanitizers is the best protection. Okay, thank you.
By the way, I don't know if Sharon said, but maybe you already said, when you come in, you don't need to use the codes. So no need to use codes anymore. You just swap your card. The elevator, you have to push the numbers. If you prefer not to use the elevator, which I would highly recommend, use the steps. It's a good exercise. Remember, this is something that I don't get it. The best protection is exercise.
Just no more than 2 people in the stairwell.
There you go. But we have 2 stairs also. Yeah. North and south.
Add actually, if you look at the course that you have to do, it's very, very precise.
Can't hear you.
We can hear you, Sana. Get the microphone close to you.
You're muted.
You're muted.
If you do the course that we're supposed to do, which I did yesterday, is very precise, and it tells you exactly what to do for the elevator, what to do for the kitchen, what to do for the bathroom, and exactly what Dr. Gil has said. But and how to wash your hand, and there's like 9 steps to wash your hand, which I go to the OR all the time, and that's certainly more than what I would do. So it's really very precise, and I really enjoyed it.
Thank you, Sana. That's true. When you take the course, you will see that it will help you to understand many of these rules and regulations.
Do we want
Jennifer?
I was going to ask about the animal facility and scheduling within the animal facility.
We will talk at the animals in a minute. I have Susan here, hopefully.
Here.
Oh, okay. And then the other thing is, on our floor, 291, the lab area has a common bench on the back, which is heavily utilized by multiple people. And I just don't know how in our area we can socially distance while doing that, unless there's some kind of scheduling also for that area.
Thanwill you. That is something that I will ask.
Is that where the core equipment is?
Yeah.
Maybe a sign-in, sign-out sheet for the
equipment. Wipes or something there that people do before and after.
Similar to what Aisha created for the Moore lab.
Yeah. So the core equipment that's there, it's the gel imager, the 96 watt plate reader. The PCR machine?
Yeah, and a centrifuge, big centrifuge.
We can create an Excel sheet on SharePoint for that. Let me work with Elisa because our SharePoint is only for our group. So I'll work with Elisa and figure out how to do that.
It's a great opportunity now to create a SharePoint for the whole Mott Center.
Also the microscope room and the centrifuge room that's on the second
floor. All the
floor.
rooms.
All maybe can be included.
Excellent.
Yep.
We wanted from the beginning to have a SharePoint for the Mott Center, also to put documents for grants and so on. So this is a great opportunity to do that.
Okay.
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 What else?
I've got one more question about the gloves. Should we avoid the usage in common areas like outside the elevators and stuff, since we don't know if they were in the lab or not, since we want to try and avoid cross-contamination?
Sorry, I don't understand your question. To use the gloves, repeat again the question.
Yep, absolutely. Should we try and avoid using the gloves in some of the common areas since we don't know if they were used in the lab or not?
Yeah,
we don't want to.
Definitely. Thank you, Megan. That's a very good point. Somebody who used the gloves in the lab, you cannot walk with those gloves into the common areas. Absolutely not. So if somebody wants to carry gloves in the common areas, it has to be a new, fresh set of gloves, not something that has been used in the lab. So you will need to change those gloves. And then again, the use of sanitizer and so on, as Sana mentioned, when you take the course, you will see very nicely defined how to protect yourself in terms of using of sanitizers and washing your hands when you walk around in common places. Good. We are for it. I don't know if Susan is there. Is here?
I'm here.
Yes, Dr. Moore.
Okay, Susan?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, Susan, the floor is yours.
Oh, thank you, dear. I wrote down some ideas about opening up our animal vivarium, and I only have, there's like 4 or 5 different things that 2 investigators or staff can enter an animal room or treatment room at the same time, only 2. Lab coats will need to be worn, or disposable gowns will be worn at all times. And distancing of 6 feet whenever is possible in any of those rooms. I have gloves in the hallway. You will have your masks provided, the ones that Dr. Moore is talking about. And I have sanitizing wipes in the hallway for, they're on the cart, for wiping down your keys, for wiping down the locks as you enter the doors, and if you have to touch any of the door handles. And also when you go into the animal rooms, I have supplies for cleaning, like the workstations, the carts will have to be wiped down with a cell and paper towels first. And then you repeat that again when you are finished with your work. Then you take your gloves off and dispose of them before you leave the animal room. And that's it.
It's Susan?
Yes.
We did have a question from a member. Is it just a swipe to enter the vivarium, or is it still a punch code?
I have it where you have to use the code and swipe.
Okay.
I tried this morning and it was only swipe.
Oh,
So
okay.
Yeah. So I think, and it was recent, it's because at the beginning of the day, still you need a code. But the last time I came, it was now swipe. They have changed that.
Oh, good. Okay, because I was here earlier, but.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Early in the morning, it still was code. The last time, now is swipe.
Excellent. Okay, good.
Jennifer, you had a question also for Susan.
Yes.
So I was wondering, how can we schedule in the procedure room? We're about to start a lot of animal experiments once we get back, and if it was just for 2 people in there, there would be 2 of us in there at a time, and that would exclude everybody else. So we probably need a way to online schedule. Maybe that can be put on the SharePoint also.
Either online or a lot of times at some of the other rooms, if they have people that want to occupy the same space, I have a calendar I can put on the door and people can write in their times.
Okay. Can that be outside?
Sure, yes.
Or online? I think
Uh,
online would probably be the best. Is there a way we can include that on the SharePoint?
Susan, we can help you to put that in the SharePoint.
Okay.
And then it can be printed, and then also, and we need to have, unfortunately, everything duplicate SharePoint so everybody can look it from home and so on, but also print it in when physically you are in the space.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah, Alison can help you. Alisa can help you with the SharePoint.
Yes,
Thank you.
Excellent.
Sounds good.
Any other question about the animals? Vivarium. Okay, so now general questions and feelings and concerns, because I think we have covered all what we wanted to cover. Is that correct, Sharon? Anything we're forgetting?
I don't think so.
So it's open to everybody for questions.
So I did the course. How long they will need to send you the email?
Once you have done the course, you will get very soon the approval. Yeah.
Yeah, I just finished it
And
like half an hour ago.
You will get a very nice
Graduation.
graduation, exactly.
But the course,
Oh,
passing the course doesn't give you the automatic approval to return to the Mott Center. I mean, you would have submitted your plan through that portal. And
yeah,
then
I did.
You'll receive an official email from us when to come back. So they're 2 separate things, but it's everybody's encouraged to take the course now to get it out of the way.
Exactly. So the email for, as repeating what Sharon said, the email for allowing you to come, it will come from Dr. Lanier personally.
Okay.
And that is based on how your SOPs was submitted. But we will talk with the faculty with more details how the decision has been done. And then you will share that with your with the members of your lab.
Okay.
The CRC is also has been approved some people. So that is something that we will need to work with Dr. Saleh and Karen if there is any patients coming. At the present time, we don't have anything about patients coming, but we hope to move forward with that.
And they would follow any visitors of the Mott Center will follow the same protocol for the employees of the Mott Center.
Okay.
Exactly. Any visitors follow the same rules.
And we do have disposable masks for any visitors that don't have a mask. So if you know they're coming and they don't have a mask, or if they show up and don't have a mask, we'll provide one for them.
Good. Any other questions? Is there any concern?
There's one thing I'd like to add right now. I know there was some discussion earlier about the use of a glove or gloves traveling between rooms or for use of opening doors and things. I can tell you myself, I tend to use one glove and only one glove. And that at least to me, that designates that I have one hand, which is all non-glove. And so it means that the other hand is truly not a laboratory use glove. At least that's how I was trained. In order to do that, I use the one glove, whatever it is, the glove hand to open doors and buttons that I do not want to press or do not want to use hand sanitizer. However, if you read through the if you go through the presentation on the course, you will find out that the hand sanitizer is extremely effective in terms of removing any of what you would actually come in contact with, and same with washing. So basically, it's an either or. It's a matter of personal preference, whatever that may be. That was actually a good point in terms of where that type of issue could have been brought before the Biosafety Committee, discussed at the Biosafety Committee, and basically resolved very, 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 very quickly.
Thank you, Steve.
Welcome.
Yeah, that is the reason. It's very, I think they did a great job with that course. As I also mentioned, it's very informative. So it will help you to spend a little time reading. And by the way, there is a quiz at the end. So I think it's 80% that you have to pass in order to get approval. Good. Anything else? Okay. So I want to thank all of you for participating today, and invite you to, I know there is going to be an effort. Let's make it happen, and I hope soon we will be able to now start having our scientific meetings, our group meetings, and so on in the regular way, going back to normal life. Yeah, I'm really looking forward. And again, I want to reiterate the idea that we are helping the Mott Center to become functional, but also what we learn from this, it will help the whole medical school and the university to come back as soon as possible. So let's work together to make this happen, because we are helping the whole medical school. And with that, so just to remind you that the faculty, we have a 12 o'clock faculty meeting. We will dedicate now to explain who will come, the distribution of materials and so on. So then you can start coordinating with the members of your lab. If there is no additional questions, again, I'm looking forward to seeing everybody here at the Mott Center. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Hope to
Bye.
see you soon.
Thank you.